ago, you guys see me redo this vanity. Well, I'm doing it one more time because, as you guys can tell from the title of this video, I did come across a few problems over the years. For one, the vanity eventually turned yellow, which I'll get into as to why that happened, but also the seat cushion started to turn colors as well, and I wanted to add a tabletop to this vanity. I decided to give this vanity to my daughter so that way she can use it as a desk for her online classes. With COVID, my kids have been doing online classes since March, so I wanted her to have a designated area to sit at, so that's why I'm adding a tabletop. I also decided to give it to her because it matches the rest of her bed set, so I wanted to give this vanity a revamp. So if you guys want to see how I redo this vanity, then keep on watching. The first thing that I wanted to do was give this beauty a new coat of paint, but before I did that, I did have to sand it. Originally, I did not sand this piece. I just painted over the original finish, but because I didn't want so many layers of paint, I did sand the top of it, and then I just roughed up the surfaces on all the other sides. For paint, I chose the Vaspar Signature paint. I didn't choose any specific color, I just chose white, and this is the white just right out of, like right off the floor. I didn't choose a specific color. I gave the guy the can of paint to shake up, but other than that, that's it. I did ask someone from Lowe's if I had the right type of sealant, because before I did have some problems, and he said because I had a water-based paint, I want to choose a water-based sealant. If not, it would turn yellow. And it was at that moment that I realized 6 years ago, this is where I messed up. I had chose an oil-based paint and a water-based sealant. So he showed me the correct one to get, and I ended up getting 2 cans since I do plan on doing the dresser as well. Now, I did love the original hardware, but I just felt as though it was a little bit too harsh against the bright white. So to tone it down a little bit, I chose to actually paint the hardware and kind of wipe off some of the paint, like I said, to tone it down. I didn't want them pure white, but I still wanted a little bit of that brassiness to show through to give it more of a antique look. Another problem that I had was the chair that I redid. I love the fabric and the print that I chose. It was actually perfect for my daughter's room because she does have gray and white like bedding. I really wanted to keep it and I really wanted to save it, but what I realized when I took off the fabric was 6 years ago, I still kept that original fabric on. When I had received it, someone had already redid the fabric. They put a piece over it. I had took that off and just put my fabric over it. But that original fabric that's from like the 60s or 70s, I guess it was turning yellow and it was really sticky. It started to transfer to that fabric, and although I tried to wash it, I tried to soak it for like 2 hours and it still would not come out. So unfortunately, I had to do away with it and try to find another piece of fabric, which was a whole other adventure. So to find a piece of fabric in the middle of a pandemic where everyone is trying to make and sell masks was a little bit of a challenge. So Walmart had like nothing in their aisles when it came to fabric, nothing that I liked at least. And then Joann's, I couldn't go inside. Trying to shop online and do curbside at Joann's was a little bit difficult for me because I honestly don't know much about fabric. So this kind of put a whole stance on my project. I had to put a hold on it until I found the right piece of fabric. So I had to think, if I was to buy a vanity chair, what would this chair look like? So I just went on Amazon. I searched a vanity chair to kind of get an idea of fabrics for a vanity chair. And the first thing that I seen was velvet or velour, suede, whatever. And I was like, oh my god, this is perfect, because when we were shopping for Aaliyah's bedding back in December, she wanted something that was soft. So I just thought the velvet was perfect. I found one on Amazon that also took a little bit of time. It took like 2 weeks for this fabric to get here, and luckily it was the perfect shade of gray. I will leave a link in the description to the exact seller because they do sell other fabrics as well. The only thing that I can say about redoing the chair was that it was a little bit difficult because I didn't have the right staple gun, so therefore I couldn't make it as tight as I wanted to make it, but I did with what I had. I love the way that the chair turned out. In my last video, you guys seen that I decided to do away with that top portion that folded up and down, which had a mirror on it. And that was only because I decided to put a mirror on the wall at the time, and I wanted my tripod to kind of sit in the vanity. So that's why I did away with it. I ended up throwing it out as well because I don't like things just sitting around and getting in my way when I'm trying to look for something else. I didn't have a big place at the time and not a lot of storage, so I threw it out. Unfortunately, now I do kind of regret that because now that I'm giving it to my daughter, I want her to use it as a desk and I want it to have a flat top, so she has space to work at. So I thought this is an easy fix. I can easily just find a piece of wood and cut it and just have it fit right in the middle, and that's exactly what I did. I went to Lowe's. I was able to find a piece of wood that was the perfect thickness, which was 3/4 of an inch. I just had my dad cut it and I painted over it. The only thing about this piece was the edges. They were a little bit rough, so I did have to go back to Lowe's. I found this type of edging that all you have to do is iron it on, and then I painted over it again, and now it has a smooth edging, so I don't have to worry about her cutting herself or getting a splinter on it. So this vanity is now perfect for my daughter Aaliyah. She now has a desk to work at, and as she gets older, she can also do her nails and her makeup. She's getting older, so this is now perfect for her. If you guys want to see how I redo the dresser, that is going to be my next video, so be sure to subscribe right here and you can check out more DIYs right here. I will see you guys in my next video.